It's finally official. A marathon just hit under 30k concurrent players, which is a 66+% drop from its all-time peak. And it's gonna get worse, trust me. It is gonna get worse. The situation in Marathon is currently so absolutely unbelievably bad that even the die-hard Marathon defenders are currently contemplating how can they save the game. And you know what's the funniest part about this? We're gonna watch this clip a little bit later because they understand that they are the reason Marathon is dying. They understand that they themselves are the reason that Marathon has no future, and it is glorious. They understand this, but they don't blame themselves, needless to say. It's gonna be hilarious, trust me, boys. But as you can see, the numbers don't lie. Marathon's Monday peak was a whopping 28.3 thousand players. Under 30k. Pat yourselves on the back, boys. I know you love it. I love it. Numbers and graphs and stuff. Fun. Very fun, obviously. And, well, that was predictable considering we knew how bad it's looking on Saturday and Sunday. And now, if you wanna entertain yourself a little bit more, first of all, it is the maintenance, so the servers are offline. God forbid a multi-billion-dollar company will be able to do server maintenance without, shutting down the game. I know, crazy stuff, obviously. Oh, but in any case, if you want to see the future of Marathon, I mean, it's not gonna be good. It's not gonna be good because remember, Tuesdays are always smaller than Mondays. Oh, yes. So Marathon will drop even more now. Now, how much? It's probably not going to be a much, but it's over. It's over. We're under 30k. Currently, for our Ameri friends, this is 10 a.m. And Marathon has only 8.7k players. Previously, on Monday, it had at the same time 10.5k players, which is an absolutely abysmal drop. So Tuesday is obviously going to be pretty bad. But in any case, we have this. This is going to be pure bliss, boys, trust me. Okay? This is a bunch of creators who are very happy with Marathon, who are very big fans of Marathon. People you have never heard of because their opinions are dull and boring. But sometimes there's this spark of self-awareness that hits. And my god, does it hit here hard. So, without any further ado, I mean, let's listen to this a little bit, okay?
That's just how the charts and the numbers work. But that isn't essentially a sustainable model for them trying to have to make up the, 150, 200 million deficit that they're in right now. So, Lono, what's your read? Here we are. Cryo's been out for a couple weeks. And
yes, it seems like the official, or as close to the official numbers as we can get, is that Marathon is 200 million down in the gutter. Now, personally, I think that's more. All of these companies always lie about their budget. I personally believe there's no way Marathon is not at the bare minimum 350 million in, costs and everything. So, take it with a grain of salt when someone says that Marathon has only lost 200 million.
the game in and of itself and the signals that at least the devs are somewhat kind of hinting at? What do you think?
Well, there's two main themes that I think keep kind of reoccurring here, and one was, we experienced this because your clip got all those views on Twitter, and everybody was they're just so unkind and angry. And I put out my own video saying that the Toxic Defense Force is bad for the game, and then the Toxic Defense Force all raged at the video. I was like, you're just proving my point at this point. I mean, nobody can talk about the game in a critical way without having to deal with that sort of level of anger and sort of vitriol. And it's like,
Yes. To simplify what's being said here is one of the biggest truths out there for Marathon. And it is the fact that to defend itself against the negativity of it being another Concord situation, which it still is, It's just taking a little bit more time than usual. The people defending and liking Marathon went full on saying, oh, it's a hardcore Arc Raiders. Yes, it's this and that. Oh, the art style is supposed to be unlikable. And, they adopted all of these crazy, completely insane positions of, oh, the game's supposed to be bad. Oh, the game's supposed to be unplayable. Oh, the game is supposed to run on 5 FPS. Oh, this and that. They adopted all of the completely anathema to the average person's existence, experience describers for the game. And they went with it. Anyone who called Marathon bad was instantaneously just called a casual and whatnot. And now at this point, surprise, surprise, there has never been a single game that has survived the test of time that's literally geared for the ultra super competitive people. No game has ever thrived that does this. And now a lot of these people who make content for Marathon and talk positively about it are slowly understanding that, wait a minute, a vitriolic player base that literally attacks anyone, even their own, if you dare say that Marathon is not God's gift upon humanity, is not good for the health of the game, you're telling me? Wow! Who would have ever anticipated this? And yes, the Marathon stands are figuring this out. Wait a minute. The fact that the typical average Marathon enjoyer currently is like this is actually horrible. And there you go.
You're making a game that has a problem of being unlikable and unwelcoming, and you're like wearing that as like that's what you're supposed to do as a player. Like make the game unwelcoming and unlikable. Tell everybody you suck, skill issue, go play something else. And it's like, yeah, people are doing that. You don't need to say that. They're already doing it. Even people that bought the game are playing it less. The Steam chart is a worrying number because people in South America are already complaining about matchmaking taking too long. They're trying to rectify that. If you're playing this in off-peak hours and you have cross-play turn,
I completely forgot to mention this. Good thing he said it. You know what's the most worrying thing about this graph here? It's the fact that this bump right here does not exist almost any longer. This being, like, look at this. This bump previously was 29.3k. Now it's 22.8. Insane. Now this, it's still a drop. It's still a noticeable almost 10% drop. But, I mean, it's smaller. But this graph right here, holy moly. This is serious. This is almost 25% drop right there. This means that a whole region literally is giving up on Marathon. This means that a whole region is literally just saying, no, Marathon's not good. And when this collapses, it will affect a lot of other people also. And needless to say, that's not what you want to see. There's so much going wrong with Marathon.
Turned off. God help you. Like, I don't know who you're going to be playing with. If they're getting down to 10,000 players on Steam, that's where 70% of the player base is. I cannot imagine playing on console if you've turned off crossplay. They're circling the drain. I don't know how else to say it. Like, you can add seasonal content, updates, whatever. You can scream and yell on Twitter. This is not where you want to be as a live service game. And the other aspect of this is how quickly the tone is shifting. Like, Ziegler takes to Twitter and is like, the plan's evolving. They're going to be adding a merciful option for teams. Like, they're already in entertaining these ideas. And Kirk sent me a clip of Astacross attempting to broach this subject with his audience. And I thought what was the most telling part of the clip is how Astacross was very gentle in suggesting this. And apparently, from what I was told, is his audience got frustrated with him and he dropped the subject. He moved on. He was saying, we got to figure out how to open up this game to casuals or this isn't going to work. And I could tell he did not want to broach the subject with the audience because he knew they were going to be angry. This is like the big guy. This is the guy that can stream Destiny and Marathon and be at the top of the directory. And, props to him. He deserved to take over the Destiny directory after one of us was kicked out of it 6 years ago. But I think that him feeling that way, being like, I can't really broach this subject, and even if I do, he kind of had to back off and kind of move on. It's like they're in a lose-lose because even the audience that likes it, I was like, you're gonna white knuckle clutch to this thing as it you're just gonna drag it into the ocean and you'll happily drown it, knowing that no one else came in and had fun. It's like, okay, it's gonna be a really weird run, and we've said it's not Kong.
Yeah, again, I think it's completely hilarious that people that like Marathon, or say that they like Marathon, have figured out, wait, the normal person doesn't like Marathon, and the people who are willing to extend grace and give it a shot are literally attacked by the community. Oh boy, yes, needless to say, again, that does not create a good game. That creates a horrible game, in fact.
Court, it's not high guard, but if it's heading to the same destination, but does it really matter? Like, I just the decline is undeniable at this point. There is no floor, there is no end in sight. If anything, Cryo Archive, I think, really settled the issue for a lot of people. Like, they didn't even get to the first season wipe. I think people are just like, yeah, this game's not for me. Like, the top 1% of a 1% are going to enjoy the peak and the mountaintop. And after the server slam, I told folks, I said, the game feels like it has an identity crisis on its hand. It's like, you've built aspirational content that I find appealing, and you're asking me to climb over broken glass and barbed wire to get there. It's like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to experience that PvP, that sweat, that competitive thing to go play cool aspirational PvE stuff. And even then, the PvP is active in there. It's just such a conflicted game. And one more thing to say on the note of, like, should they add PvE or not?
Yeah, this is one of the things I never talked about, but I always thought that this is going to be something that has to be addressed at some point, and might as well be now. It's the fact that Marathon is supposed to be the hardcore PvP shooter, so what's the point of even having the PvE inside of it? And what's the point of making Cryo Archive a PvE endgame? Also, such an unbelievably bad PvE endgame, because was it yesterday we talked about, or was it before yesterday? But we saw the Cryo Archive, Archiver, or whatever the boss is. It looks ass. It looks so unbelievably disappointing. Unbelievable. It's like they have done everything wrong that they could with Marathon. And the only reason it even has players is just because there are some Bungie fanboys out there left. And soon, I don't think there's gonna be Bungie fanboys left. I think they're just taking a page out of Bethesda's book.
TASI reported on this last year that for 5 years, Bungie employees said, we're concerned about this game. We're concerned about longevity. It needs PvE, and they were ignored. I think that is so telling that Bungie employees were saying, I don't get this. What do you guys think you're making? And the good old boys leadership thought this thing was a banger. And how many of those leaders aren't even around anymore? You just have to wonder. And what's going to happen in June, like we talked about last week? I don't want to repeat that, but that line
the
of
June
thinking,
aspect is, though, a kind of a key thread, because it's like, when it's all said and done, it's like there are interesting milestones that are playing out in real time. You've got updates, season 2, June. Because essentially, like, as a Destiny 2 player, like, I really love the PvP.
Absolutely, by the way, I love the fact that this guy right here gives a speech about all of the problems, what's happening, and what are the issues. And no one says anything. And then this guy's like, I love that there's gonna be updates and what. This is just... This is toxic positivity at its best. This is literally a form of toxic positivity, and there's no saving Marathon or honestly any game from it. It's like all of these opinions are just horrible. Like, this guy again lays down the pipe, explains what is happening, and it's pretty accurate. And these poor guys are like, there's gonna be an update soon. There's gonna be a note in the season 2. Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, good luck with that. Anyway, Marathon is hopeless. The fact that the Get Outs the Cross is fully fully audience captured also at this point is hilarious. And yeah, good luck Marathon. You're gonna need a lot of it, and I don't think it's gonna matter. Bye!